Welcome back to Extreme Outdoor Survival. Before we get started, subscribe if you're serious about learning what actually kept people alive in history, not TV theatrics, not social media survival fantasies. Around here, we study what soldiers, explorers, and frontier survivors really did when manuals ran out and rescue wasn't coming. If that's your world, hit subscribe and let's get straight into it. Today we're talking about 7 survival tricks armies used to teach and then stopped. Not because they didn't work, they worked almost too well. Some were risky, some hard to standardize, some didn't fit modern doctrine. But in the real world, when you're cold, hungry, wet and alone, the old knowledge is still brutally effective. Let's get into it. Traveling by shadow time instead of clock time. You know, modern manuals love checklists and schedules, but older soldiers and scouts moved by shadow time. The position of the sun and length of shadows instead of watches. Why? Well, because shadows tell you more than hours. They show direction, weather change, terrain angle, and how much light you realistically have left. Clock time lies in the wilderness. A 2-hour hike across level ground becomes a 5-hour crawl in scree or swamp. Shadow time forces realism. When shadows stretch long, you stop moving and start sheltering. Historical campaigns from steppe cavalry to World War I scouts used it constantly. Give it a go yourself. Try heading out for a hike without a watch just once. Instead of tracking minutes, pay attention to the changing light around you. You'll find, honestly, that you become much more aware of your own pace and your limits. Purposeful undereating is one way to keep the body sharp. These days, armies really focus on calories and sports nutrition, but, you know, historically, long-range patrols would use controlled undereating. Just enough food to function, not so much that it would slow the mind. A heavy meal actually drops your body temperature, makes you feel tired, and can make people a bit careless. Old reconnaissance units used to carry what they called alert foods, things like hard bread, dried meat, or roasted grains. The aim was to stay functional, not comfortable. Hunger, in a way, made them listen harder, move more quietly, and plan better. In survival, discomfort is not your enemy, sloppiness is. You can apply this on long treks by eating small, frequent, dense bites, not camp-style feasts. Performance stays higher and hypothermia risk drops drastically. Using the land as insulation, not gear. This is one of the most forbidden today because it's hard to standardize and easy to misuse. Before modern sleep systems, soldiers survived cold nights by burrowing into the environment itself. Pine bough beds, leaf mounds, snow hollows, and earthen windbreaks. They weren't trying to be comfortable, they were trying to reduce convective heat loss. A deep leaf pile traps as much warmth as a budget sleeping bag. A snow trench blocks wind better than most tents. Indigenous groups and early militaries relied on this knowledge for centuries. So here's a practical example for you. If you ever find yourself stuck without a sleeping bag, don't just lie on the ground and try to tough it out. Instead, what you want to do is build some height. Lift your body off the soil. Remember, dead air space is life. Silence as camouflage. It's not just about sound discipline, you know. Back in the day, older units would practice long stretches of total silence, where all communication dropped down to just eye contact and tiny micro-gestures. The aim wasn't only stealth, it actually rewired the brain. When you take away speech, your hearing just explodes and your environmental awareness multiplies. These days, modern soldiers, well, they rely heavily on radios to communicate. But earlier warriors, they had to depend on their senses, keen hearing, sharp eyesight, and all those little instincts that kept them alive. Here's a practical drill you can try. Spend half a hike in complete silence if you're with someone, no talking at all. You'll start to notice more sign, more animal movement, more trail inconsistencies, and yeah, even more hazards than you usually would. That silence, it flips your brain from social mode to survival mode. There's also the freeze instead of flee method when you want to avoid detection. Sometimes staying absolutely still is the best way to go unnoticed. So, modern training often emphasizes movement, break contact, create distance, maneuver. But, older scouts and partisans learned something a bit different. Most detection actually happens because people just can't stop moving. The human eye, it spots motion before it notices shape. If you simply freeze, even when you're out in the open, many threats just fail to register you as human right away. The forbidden part, it requires a kind of discipline that, honestly, most people just don't have. When startled, don't bolt like prey. Lock in place, slow your breathing, then choose movement deliberately. There are, honestly, countless historical accounts of people surviving patrol sweeps simply because they didn't panic into motion. Fire by concealment, not by blaze. We are told today, don't build fires. But historically, small, controlled, hidden fires were, really an art. Armies once taught smokeless microfires, dug into pits, fueled by dry hardwood, and positioned where both the thermal signature and smoke would be diffused. The rule was simple, really. Fire for survival, not for morale. Tiny fire, no flame tower. Just enough heat to dry your boots, boil water, and stave off hypothermia. You can practice this legally in permitted areas, dig small, use pencil-thick dry sticks, and always prioritize heat near your body rather than going for those towering flames. A small fire placed correctly saves lives. A big one ends them. Emotional compartmentalization as survival fuel. This one doesn't show up in manuals, yet it's everywhere in memoirs. Old soldiers were taught to pack emotions into boxes and deal with reality first. Fear acknowledged privately, tasks done publicly. The goal wasn't denial, it was survival order. You will face moments outdoors where panic wants to take control. The forbidden trick is this: state the situation simply, state the next step, do the next step. Fire, water, shelter, warmth, and then repeat. Emotional control is not bravado, it's actually oxygen to decision-making. Some break, some don't. The difference is not genetics, it's whether the mind obeys the mission of staying alive. None of these tricks look glamorous, they don't belong on TV, they don't fit neatly into laminated field cards, but, they kept people alive through wars, disasters, and wilderness journeys long before modern equipment provided comfort. Skills fade when civilizations grow comfortable. Knowledge becomes forbidden when it can't be standardized. But the wilderness doesn't change its exams. It still rewards the humans who move slowly, listen carefully, think clearly, and work with the land instead of fighting it. If you want more deep historical survival knowledge like this, subscribe and share this video with someone who thinks survival is gear shopping. The mind keeps you alive. The rest is tools. Stay sharp. Stay aware. Extreme outdoor survival signing out.